Testing, testing. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
That's good. That's a good start.
Don't usually involve the council chamber for these hearings.
It's a bit nerve-wracking. We've got so much going on.
Yeah. We usually do it entirely online.
Yeah. So this is my first go at streaming as well, so fingers crossed.
Hi, Alex.
Hiya.
Hi.
Nice.
Hello, Mr. Hussain. I can't get my camera to come on. I'm going out. I'm going to come back in again.
Okay.
There we go.
I can't get a good shower. Okay. Okay, fire go. Fire. Yeah. You need a poo. Oh, this is the second time.
Good afternoon. Are we expecting Neil to be joining? No, that's Kieran.
I think Neil is joined as Chamber AV. Neil, can you wave?
That's Neil.
Yes, he's in the chamber.
Hi, that's right.
I'm just a bit confused though, because our objector is not on the invited list either. So it's a matter for him whether he attends, but he's not on the list of people invited.
That would slow things down a bit.
Looking at the Teams thingy doodah.
Right. Can we take some advice on that then, Neil, I guess, or possibly Kieran, if we don't have, if we haven't invited one of the, the relevant people for this, does that present as a legal problem?
I think he is invited. I think he's in the calendar.
Well, he's not. I'm looking, you know, when you go to Teams and you go to participants on the right,
Yeah.
I can see who's here. And then I scroll down, others invited, Dem Services, Neil and Council Chamber AV. So I can't find our objector anywhere.
So I'm looking at the Outlook and events in Outlook. If you go to the scheduling assistant, his email address is there.
That's really weird, but surely he should be. I wonder if Neil should ring him, because surely he should be in this list of participants, others invited, even if he's not here.
Hmm.
It's worth a telephone call if we've got his contact number. Absolutely, just to
I
be
don't know if
sure.
we do. He's never provided it to me.
Okay. So on the
Was it
schedule,
on his letter of objection?
might be.
Hmm.
Just have a look at this. Right. Scheduling part, right. I can't see what you're looking at, Alec, about scheduling assistant. Oh, yes, I
you-
can.
yes.
Sorry, that's me being not very clever. Right.
So I think he has been invited.
Hmm.
Is he Millie Beats and Streets?
Yeah,
No. Okay.
Millsy Beats and Treats.
Millsy Beats and Treats, sorry, yes. But that just says resource, it's not in there under the list of attendees. I'm not sure if it's gone to him or not.
Perhaps Neil could give him a ring so that we're on the safe side.
I
Yeah.
don't think we have his phone number.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
I'm just concerned he's not showing up under the list of invited people.
Yeah.
And if he hasn't been invited and he's entitled to
Yeah.
hmm.
be invited, then it's not particularly safe to go ahead. But if he has been invited, obviously that's not an issue.
So how can we ascertain that?
Okay. Just trying to think of ways of contacting him.
So if
What
all we've
was the-
got is the email, then I can send him an email now.
Yeah. What was the
that-
company name again? Millsy.
Beats and Treats.
I'm seeing if there's a number for that.
mhm.
Okay. Sure if this is the right company, to be honest with you. I think it is. Get in touch. No. No, that's not the right company.
Do we have a telephone number? Forgive me for this, Musharraf. Do we have a phone number for you?
Yes.
For
Well, I'm just thinking rather than keeping everybody on the line, maybe the best thing to do might be to just postpone this for half an hour to give ourselves an opportunity to try and contact the objector. And then if there's a problem, we could actually phone Musharraf back. But otherwise, just reconvene at 2:30 and give ourselves a
Yeah.
chance to try and contact this individual.
Yeah, think
Would that be acceptable to
I
everybody?
think that is acceptable. I don't know how we can find out if he's been invited or not. If Alec's getting one message and I'm getting another from the, it
Yeah,
should
but
it
we
should
can
show up in the people invited though.
We can possibly do a bit of searching around, but I just don't
Yeah.
want to keep everybody on.
No, I think that's
phone.
helpful. That's
Musharraf,
Is
helpful.
it all right with
Marshall-
you, Mr. Hussain?
Yes, that was what I was trying to
Yeah,
ask.
I'll be okay. I have to. That's fine. I'm
Okay.
okay.
Right, can we just reconvene at 2:30 and we'll do our best to sort things out in the intervening period.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Thanks.
Thank,
Bye-bye.
thank-
Okay.
Thank you. See
Thanks
you,
very
see you
much.
in-
Ra-
see you in-
Rachel,
see you soon.
Rachel and Neil, just before you go, but
Yes.
everybody else, that'd be fine. Well, 2:30 then.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, Rachel and Neil, I'm not quite sure what we can do to try and contact this individual.
Nora,
Can I-
I've been trying to Google the email address and try and get like some detail from behind that. And let me just try that once more. Because what I don't know is if it's been our error or if he's
Yeah.
just chosen not to come. And if he was definitely in the list of invited people, then that wouldn't be a problem at
No,
all.
but I can see your problem. Obviously, if we go ahead and an object has not been invited, then we have a problem.
Mm. I literally can't find any reference to this, like to any company it might relate to.
Who does the invitation? Is that through Democratic Services?
It is now. It was Lucianne that did it, and this is unusual because Lucianne did it, and Neil's dealing with it today because Lucianne's on leave. So we've got a bit of an unusual situation, haven't we, Neil?
We have, I'm looking at the list, is that email address that you mentioned is definitely part of the invitations.
Yeah, but it's not. When you go into Teams, it's not showing up as part of the invitations. Can we check it's the right email address? Because I think, well, actually, did you get the stuff before it got redacted by licensing? You know, the
No.
unredacted email. So you haven't got the unredacted email address.
No.
So let me just message Alec and see if he can get the unredacted email address. Won't be a second. Alec.
Yeah.
Right.
But unfortunately, sending them an email is probably not going to really help us very much.
I don't know. It might if it's the right
Okay.
email address.
Well, yeah, but
let me just check.
The chance of him actually reading his emails that quickly.
Yeah. Objectors. Because there is a chance that could have gone in wrong, but I don't know why it's not showing up in the people invited. There we go. Right.
If you invite someone,
Oh,
I'm okay. Hello. Hi.
Hi, Rob.
Salman. Wait a second.
Who's that?
So we're just waiting for Alec and possibly Kieran, I think.
Hello.
Good. Good afternoon. So first order of business is to elect a chairman. Can I can I have a nominee?
Can I propose Councillor Rob Comer as chairman?
And I second that.
There we go. Don't you love democracy? Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. So as you probably just gathered, the members of the subcommittee are myself, Rob Comer, Councillor Chris Cook and Councillor Beth Rowland. We have representatives from the licensing portion of the council being Alec Coomber and Kieran Hinchcliffe. The Democratic Services represented by Neil Carr. Make sure we keep things roughly in order, and Rachel will be providing any legal advice that we require. So if I can ask the subcommittee if any of us have any interests to declare.
No, nothing to declare.
Nothing for me. So I'm just going to overview the procedure that we'll be going through very briefly. The principle is generally that licenses will be granted unless the committee decides there is a valid objection to them. In making those judgments, we take into account the 4 licensing objectives, which are the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. And the process that we're going to go through is to hear from the licensing officer, Alec in this case, giving his report. Then we'll hear from the applicant and any responsible authorities, which in this case are none, so that'll be nice and brief. We would normally then hear from any interested parties, but at the moment we don't have a representative from the interested parties, so we'll discuss that when we get to that point. And then we'll basically do a summary and a wrap up. Any questions on the process?
No.
No, Good, excellent. In that case, can we leap straight in? And Alec, can I ask you to present the licensing report, please?
Just before
Oh.
Alec does, because this is being recorded and minuted, can I just address the brief adjournment we had due to the absence of the objector and what has happened since then? So following the brief adjournment, I emailed the objector at 12 minutes past 2 and asking if he had the link, because there is some confusion about whether he had the link or not. We've been assured by Alec and I believe also by Democratic Services that the objector was indeed added to the original invite. The confusion came about because on Teams he's not listed in the others invited. In any event, he hasn't replied to my email, and that is the only contact information that we have for the objector.
Fine.
So I'll turn back in relation to that.
Right. All right, thanks very much, Rachel. Alec, back to you.
Thank you. So, members are requested to determine the application for a variation to a premises licence in accordance with section 35(3) of the Licensing Act 2003, having regard to the representations received and the requirement to promote the 4 licensing objectives. The purpose of this report is to provide relevant information for the subcommittee to consider and determine the application from Mr. Enamel Hope for a variation to the premises licence at Jalpari of Woodley Restaurant, shop units 3 and 4, Loddon Vale Centre, Woodley, RG5 4UL. The following options are open to the Licensing and Appeals Subcommittee: to grant the application in full and on the terms and conditions contained within the application, to include any applicable mandatory conditions; to grant the application as above, modified to such an extent as considered appropriate to satisfy any relevant representations and promote the licensing objectives, or to reject the application. A licence is required in respect of any premises where it is intended to conduct one or more of the 4 licensable activities, these being sale of alcohol, supply of alcohol in respect of a club, regulated entertainment, and the provision of late night refreshment. The applicant has applied to amend the authorised timings for the sale of alcohol on their premises licence and for other licensable activities as follows: for recorded music, to change the existing hours of 0800 to 2200 Monday to Sunday to 0800 to 2300 Monday to Sunday; for the supply of alcohol on and off sales from 1100 till 2200 Monday to Sunday to 0800 until 2300 Monday to Sunday; and the opening hours of the premises from 0800 to 2200 Monday to Sunday to 0800 to 2300 hours Monday to Sunday. The applicant has also applied to update the plan of the premises. The application has been properly made and all procedures correctly followed. The application has been attached as Appendix A in the report pack, and photographs of the blue site notices in place and a copy of the newspaper advert are attached as Appendix B. Just for a bit of background, the premises is a restaurant and a small retail centre, and a copy of the existing premises licence is attached as Appendix C. The operating schedule is completed by the applicant and contains additional measures to illustrate how they propose to promote the 4 licensing objectives, as required by provision of the Licensing Act 2003. The following licence conditions have been agreed between the applicant and Thames Valley Police to be added to the licence. I won't read them all, but they're all available in the pack. But the conditions include CCTV, age verification measures, right to work checks, dispersal policies, and staff training policies. Responsible authorities included in the consultation for the application are Thames Valley Police, Royal Berkshire Fire and Rescue, Environmental Health, Trading Standards, Public Health, the Local Planning Authority, the Local Safeguarding for Children Board, and Home Office Immigration Enforcement. One representation was received from Thames Valley Police, but following the above conditions mentioned in the pack being agreed with the applicant, the representation was withdrawn. There has also been one representation against the application from another person with concerns over exacerbation of existing noise, air pollution, and antisocial behaviour arising from the premises. This is attached as Appendix D. Those that have made a representation have been informed of the time and date of this subcommittee hearing and have been informed of their right to attend. In terms of legal considerations, conditions may only be attached to a premises licence where they are deemed appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. They must be proportionate and not duplicate any existing provisions contained in other legislation. The justification for refusal of the attachment of conditions must be given to the applicant. The subcommittee is advised that any findings on any issues of fact should be on the balance of probabilities, and any decision should be based on the individual merits of the application. The subcommittee, in arriving at its decision, must have regard to relevant provisions of national guidance and its own statement of licensing policy, and reasons should be given for any departure. There is a right to appeal to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days of the date of the applicant is notified of the decision of the Licensing and Appeals Subcommittee. That concludes my report. Back to you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next one will be to ask the applicant, that's Mr. Hussain, if you would like to present, if you like, your the highlights of your application, please.
I really don't know how to do this thing. I never did in my life. This first time. I got the email from council, and we did according to the rules and legislation of what I supposed to follow, and the objection, the person give objection. I don't know what objection he. Sorry, what objection he raised against the license? I have no idea, and we try not to have any social behavior, breach the social behavior, and also maintain the customer leave my restaurant quietly. That sign on the window I put. And I mean, I try to do everything according to the law, what I supposed to do. That's what I can say only at the moment.
Okay. Can I just ask you to basically briefly describe what you're trying to achieve and what you want, what you're trying to achieve with this these changes in the license?
Yeah, the main achievement is like the customer coming to my restaurant. I want them to leave a restaurant with a happy face, mainly because when someone came, let's say 9 o'clock, because the order started, that takes about half an hour to 35 minutes to serve. So when they have started, they have another half an hour only to have the main course. So if he want to have additional drink, so we have to say no to him at the end, because our time at the moment is still 10. So we refuse a lot of customer already, and that doesn't really good effect on my business, and not very good sign also, because many people said, why don't you extend your license to 11 then? So that's the reason I also asked, because customer asking about the additional 1 hour in case they need to stay longer.
Okay. That's fine. We would normally at this point be moving on to the interested parties. In this case, that would be the gentleman that's made an objection. Now, as he's not present to make his own points, I'm suggest that what I'll just do is I'll read out his letter. So as I don't think we have any other ways of presenting his his argument. So I'll just read this out so we have it for the record.
Sorry, just before you do, so I have my hand up, and I don't think.
Oh, sorry. My
I don't think
apologies.
you
Didn't see
realise.
it.
I don't know if anyone else has got any questions of Mr. Hussain first, but to assist you, panel, through you, Chair, I think we just need some clarity about the application to amend the plans.
Right. Well, I'll ask one question. I was going
Thank
to
you.
do the question later. In your plans, Mr. Hussain, it looks like you've significantly extending the size of the restaurant. Is it the case that Unit 3 was largely unused before, or am I misreading the plans?
It was another shop called Salis. When they left, I had the opportunity to take over and serve more customer. Because I was refusing a lot of customer every weekend, especially Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's the main reason I took over. And yeah.
So that's a significant increase in size, isn't it? Because you're going from about 18 seats to 71 seats, I think, or thereabouts.
Yes, around, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have a question on the plans themselves? Chris?
Can I just check that? So is that other half of the business operational now, or is that waiting to start?
The business is operating now, yeah.
So you're serving from Unit 3 and Unit 4 at the moment?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just through you, Chair, can I clarify, Mr. Hussain, how long that change has been in place for?
Oh, sorry if you reply.
Right. Yeah. When did you start operating out of Unit 3?
That's before Christmas. That's a week before Christmas, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on the plans?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Kieran.
Just that you obviously agreed conditions with the police through your consultation period, and there's the addition of CCTV. Is it possible? Have you got the CCTV system installed?
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
I just wondered whether it'd be worthwhile potentially updating the plan to reflect that agreement. You know, for the location of your CCTV cameras.
Okay. I can do. Yeah.
But you've got it all installed. All
installed. Yeah.
Also. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good news to hear. But I can see from your plan you've got identifiers in terms of the fire safety aspects for your plan, but it'd be useful to have the CCTV cameras identified just for the sake of completeness.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one other question just relating to the hours. You're looking to extend the hours till 11 o'clock, which I understand, and if I remember correctly, 1 day a week, I think you're most days of the week you start opening at 8 o'clock. But was that true for all days of the week, or was 1 day of the week a later start?
This was because this shop was a coffee shop before, so that was started 8 in the morning. And when I took over, I mean, Mr. Hawk took over, and then I joined after him. We never opened from 8. This is just in case we need to open. This is better to have in place than not have. So we usually don't open at lunch either. So we open like 5 to 11 only, 5 to 10 at 11 maximum. Yeah. So all that day we have no business or we don't open. Lunchtime, staff goes to restaurant to have preparation. That's all.
Okay, so you only open basically evening hours then?
Evening hours, yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's any other questions?
Yeah, Chairman, if I may.
Oh, sorry, Beth. Yeah.
If I may come in on that, if you don't open at 8 and you're not serving any meals or anything before 11, Why do you want to retain those opening hours at 8?
It's because I mean, as I told you, it used to be a coffee shop. There was open from 8, and the previous license was from 8 o'clock. I just extend from. I mean, this one keep it normal. In case like sometimes like once I was trying to, because business, you know, every business is struggle sometimes. So I was struggling also. Also still have a little struggle always. So I was thinking to open for breakfast. So I did open for breakfast for certain time. It was going okay, but it is a long day for staff and it's difficult to run. That's why I'm not doing. In case I have to open in future, so it's better to have it in place. I'm not usually open morning.
So if you amended the opening hours to 11, that wouldn't really affect you.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Rachel?
Yes, Mr. Hussain, I've just realised that you said you've taken over from Mr. Hock, and the current premises licence is actually in the name of Mr. Hock, isn't
No,
it? And
I'm not taking over. Mr. Hogg is the main owner. I just I'm a partnership. I go with him, personal partnership.
so is he still going to be?
Yes, he's the main owner. Yeah.
So you haven't taken over?
No, I just join with him as a partner.
Thank you.
So can I follow that? Is Mr. Hawk still on the premises
Yes.
then
Yes.
at all times when the restaurant's open?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I just go back on one comment that Beth made? So Beth, you suggested that the possibility would be to have the opening hours from 11 o'clock. And Mr. Hussain, you didn't have any objection to that. However, I guess the question is that a change that you wish us to make?
Sorry, if you just explain.
At the moment, your opening hours are from 8 o'clock in the morning, or they will be every day. As you said, you don't really do that. And Beth's question was, would there be any problems if it was changed till 8 o'clock? If the start time was changed to 11 o'clock in the morning? My question to you is that a change you wish us to make at this time?
No, if I mean, you need to change from instead of 8 to 11 in the morning. Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. It will be any effective because I had no no plan for opening for breakfast at the moment. So I don't know. Maybe in future, I don't know. That's why I said we can keep it as it is. If you need to amend this hour from 8 to 11 in the morning, I don't really mind.
Okay, thank you. Right, so I'm going back to where I was, and I'm going to just read out the interested party email or letter to us, as he is not here to do it himself. Let me just find that. Okay. As a resident at Loddon Vale Centre who lives on the top floor above the Jalpari takeaway restaurant, which is now extended, I can soundly say since this opened, the residents are already having to deal with this restaurant's kitchen noise, and not only the noise, pollution from the exhaust vent, but also the constant air pollution from the exhaust vent, which I am sure is not legal. That aside, could you please inform me as to what changes are being proposed regarding the said licence? As residents, we are now regularly blighted by this awful restaurant and its lack of cleanliness and refuse issues, which have led to the appearance of rats, and you can add to that their customers urinating in the car park and gardens around the site. I personally have been verbally abused and threatened with violence by one of the restaurant's customers for calling one out for urinating behind the tenants' cars. I would like to think that this licence alteration is not to allow later opening times, as we already suffer from the noise and vibration coming from the dubious exhaust vent, which can last from, say, 10 AM to midnight on average, and that is 7 days a week. Also, if anything that could be done so we, the residents, do not have to deal with groups gathering outside our entrance door, smoking and drinking whilst at the restaurant. I can safely say that since this premise opened, our quality of life here has been diminished considerably, and mostly by the exhaust vent that's not only emitting filthy, dirty pollution, which means we can no longer open our windows to gain clean, fresh air, but also the noise and vibration. I really feel we must get environmental health involved, as the residents have been completely ignored and let down by planning from the get-go, and later opening hours will only attract drunks from the local public houses as they close their doors. So I resolutely have to say no to any increase in later hours or lax rules in serving alcohol later into the small hours, as nothing good will result for the locals in this area. I've just read that out verbatim, as he's not here to argue his point. Does anybody have any questions or comments relating to the interested party's objection? Chris?
Can I just check with that? We consulted with environmental health as part of this application, and they didn't come back with anything. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Beth?
Can I follow that up? Saying, have we had any reports of rats in the area or anything like that that would change what we would like to do?
I would have assumed that would have gone to environmental health, wouldn't it?
Yes, it wouldn't come through us.
And,
Yeah, you
but-
haven't
and
had-
environmental health have had no objections.
Yeah.
So
Following that, could I ask Mr. Hussain about the servicing of the extractor equipment? Is it regularly serviced to keep it in good order?
Yes, it's regularly serviced, and I need to say something about the letter the objection when he was reading the letter, and a few things I need to mention, because first of all, I don't want to be a like neighbor as a bad neighbor. I want to be a good neighbor, and that's why this is like all other neighbor around my restaurant. Like we have a good relation. Everybody is happy, and everybody going past, they're coming to eat, and I'm very happy. And we say hi, hello every time they pass by. And the gentleman, I guess, I don't know, he doesn't like me or not, or us or not. Every time I approach to him, say hi, he never reply. Maybe I don't know why. Maybe he can be the objector. He put the objection against me. But anyway, because I try to be happy, a good person with everyone, and also a few things he said, like a customer was doing we outside. So I never noticed anything. The customer went out to do we in the car park or anything. I never noticed myself. And if this is the case, I was thinking he should come to me and ask that if they are my customer or not, because many times customer coming from outside, no customer, people coming from outside want to use my toilet. I'm happy to allow them to use the toilet while they're not my customer. They're coming from outside to me. I have Tesco or Pizza Hut, they went there to buy. So they come to my restaurant to, can I use the toilet? I always willingly to help them, because this is important emergency for some people. So I always do. The people was doing outside and I have objection about this thing, because if I don't know how I know he's my customer. Well, if this happen, I will say sorry, of course, because I never noticed anything like that. And when customer go for outside sometimes for cigarette, I always tell them, because don't stay in front of their door. Go a bit far or anything. No many customer go. I will say maybe 1 or 2% customer go sometimes outside for the cigarette or anything like that. And the other thing about the noise and the smell, I talked to the person live right above my restaurant. He should be the first person who get the noise and who get the smell. And I asked him, and he said no. It's I know when it's a restaurant, we expect some kind of noise or some kind of smell coming through, because the noise I get from Tesco is more than what I get noise from the restaurant. Just right down to me. So he get more noise from Tesco fan than me. because I don't even I don't understand this thing either. And also because we do regular check, and I talked to the guy live the top floor above, and I asked him about the noise. He said very low noise now because I did servicing. I called the new engineer to check everything. So I mean there is no noise now. I will be happy to invite you to come and check if you like to.
Thank you.
So I have I mean from my side I'm always there, because if I know any kind of complaint, I try to deal this immediately, not to harm anyone or not to disrespect anyone for any way. So from my side, from our side, we always there to help for anything. Even my staff, I tell my staff, when you put rubbish outside, make sure you put in the bin. Don't leave outside. Try to keep the area clean, because if it's the area clean, not clean, rat can come inside. And this is I will struggle to fast for the rat. So I have the the company that deal with this thing. So everything in place. And I will also do anything that I need to do extra from council help or anyone. I'm happy to accept any kind of suggestion.
Right. I have one question myself, actually. Given the point that you made about people that occasionally go out to smoke outside and you direct them away from the restaurant, do you allow people to take their drinks out when they go out to have a smoke?
No.
Good. Okay.
No.
I
will say one thing, if you don't mind. I will say, because he can the person who said that can be one reason. In one occasion this happened because there was a party for people live upstairs. It was their party, and their son-in-law and daughter live upstairs. So they was there. So I know everybody live after finishing meal here, they will go upstairs. So I didn't say nothing to them in that point, because I know them. They live there. So I didn't approach to them honestly.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
the, I mean, this maybe he took this as a I mean, took this point to have complaint or something. Or another occasion, I will say last week he had the gentleman had a conversation with my customer. I was off, and my colleague, my staff called me immediately. This is there was a group of 20 people, they're traveler, gypsy. Yeah, we all know how they behave and how they deal with us. So I was trying to be. I told them all the stuff. Don't be. I mean, try to be as good as possible with them. Don't make them angry or unhappy. So I give them 170 pound discount on their bill. So they leave my restaurant nicely. And I told them they went out number of times. I called my staff. I said, tell them there is a people live upstairs. We don't want them to be disturbed. So I mean, when you go out, be quiet and respect our neighbor. And I mean, they was doing that. And my colleague called me there. He said the guy came from upstairs and he was talking to them also. So I don't know what, maybe, I mean, this kind of thing happen when it's a restaurant. I accept that, because I cannot say no to them when they come, you know, and I don't know when they book for 20 people. I don't know who they are. When they come in, and we have to deal in that point as soon as they come in. So I try from my point, from my side, I always approach them, respect our neighbor, and don't be loud outside. Try not to go as soon as, I mean, stay inside the restaurant. When you leave, just leave quietly. So we do approach to customer if it's like that.
Great, thank you. Does anybody have any other questions relating to, well, basically applicant, the objector? No. Right. Thank you very much. basically, we've addressed all the questions. At this stage, we should ask if there are any other points that we haven't covered in the hearing that anybody wishes to bring up. No, and
I've got my hand up, Chair.
sorry, Beth, I didn't spot. I looked down too quickly. Beth.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I would like to suggest that we have earlier closing on a Sunday, just because things quieten down earlier on a Sunday, so till 10 o'clock. So,
Yeah.
11 till 11 every day, except Sunday when it would be 11 till 10. I don't know whether that would be acceptable.
Beth, you haven't made your decision yet as a panel in relation to anything. So the question is, how would Mr. Hussain feel about a 10 o'clock closure on a Sunday rather than 11 to 11 every day?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't frame it as a question.
Okay. On Sunday, honestly, I don't mind, because on Sunday, I even on the other weekdays, I hardly have a customer after 10 p.m. So everybody leave by 9:30 or before 10. So I hardly have. I say like under 5% or 10% maximum, if possible, if it's happened. So 90% customer leave by 9:30 or 10. So on Sunday, I hardly have any customer after 9 p.m. So even that's why I don't want to open till 11 on Sunday. I want to come early too.
Right. So for the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Hussain, would you like us to change the Sunday time till 10 o'clock as opposed to, which is what it is now, I think. Would you like us to change that till 10 o'clock instead of 11 o'clock on the Sunday?
Yes, you can do that, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So we're now asking if anybody wants to for people to give a brief summary of their evidence, but in this case, we don't really have very many. Alex, do you need to give a summary any further?
I don't think there's a lot to say really. The applicant has applied to extend their hours slightly, 7 days a week, for both on and off sales of alcohol, recorded music and opening. A number of quite comprehensive conditions have been agreed with the police, and there's been one objection to about how this may exacerbate existing nuisance, but that's all for me, I think.
Okay, and Mr. Hussain, would you like to make a final summary before we go into sort of closed session and make our decision, or are you happy with what you've said so far?
I'm happy with what I said so far, yeah.
Okay, at this point, unless somebody's going to tell me differently, then it will be down to just the subcommittee and basically our advisors to then stay and make a decision, which we will then communicate to you and any other parties involved as soon as we've made that decision. So if I can just finish by thanking you very much for your time, Mr. Hussain, and as I say, we will contact you as soon as we have made our decision.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much. Right.
Just Neil, we're no longer broadcasting. Neil, can you hear me?
We can't hear you, Neil.
I'm just ending the stream. I'll be 1 minute.
Okay.